Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Infinity, and this is Magnetize Yourself, where we talk about life, love, spirituality, and of course, the law of attraction. Welcome to today's reading video. In today's video, we are going to be doing a deep dive for our beautiful collective here on YouTube. I channel these videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And on those times and days, I do an extended version of the reading as well, which is always available through Patreon or YouTube memberships, depending on your listening preference. So if at any point during this reading, anything is connecting for you in a deep and personal way and you're looking for more information, then that link to the extended version will always be available for you below. So let's go ahead and get started by tapping into some of the energy dynamics that I've been picking up on collectively. So I'm going to start by shuffling the Energy Oracle card deck. And the first thing I want to say is something that is coming through very strongly is the idea that you are creating for your future, not creating from your past. And so this is a line that came through to me when I was meditating just this morning, because the sense that I get about this space that we're in collectively is that it's sort of a liminal space, an in-between place between the past version of ourselves and the future version that we are becoming. And that future version is a version of us that we've been calling in for a long time. But the feeling is now we're kind of getting this push energy to really be embodying that future version of ourselves and to no longer be living from the past version of ourselves. Now, the challenging thing about this in between is that it is, in a way, kind of detoxing us from those. The best way I can describe it is almost like spikes of dopamine or like spikes of some form of like excitement or adrenaline that we used to get from operating in the old way or from the old version of ourselves. And I know that we're going to get really quantum here, so I don't know what's going to be coming through this reading. I just want to unpack this layer by layer because I do keep getting those words dopamine detox. I don't know if that's significant to someone, but I have this feeling that we are detoxing from those like temporary highs emotionally that we used to get from operating in the old way, a way that was based on like somehow forced output to get some kind of result back, that was focused on being really burning ourselves out in a way to get some sort of result, but then seeing some kind of like initial boost or initial high from that in our lives that would then fade out, and then we'd have to recreate it by like burning ourselves out again. And I know that this could apply differently for different areas of your life, but the sense is that right now we're being detoxed from all of that energetically. So we are noticing that if we try to go back and act in those certain ways to get that certain result, we're burning out more quickly than ever before and experiencing a lot of backlash in our system at all levels, emotionally, mentally, physically. And the reason for this is because we are really being forced into the stillness, into the quiet, into a deep reset period, which is actually calibrating us to a future way of doing things. Now, there is so much to say about that future way of doing things, but the words nervous system stabilization are coming through really strongly because one trademark of this future way of doing things, which really that future is now, that is what we're now embodying. But the key message here is something coming through is that part of why this space feels so uncomfortable is we're beginning to embody an energy that is very new, that's very different from how we may have behaved or lived in the past, but it also isn't yet showing us itself fully in the visible realm. Like it's not completely visible yet physically, but we're feeling it energetically, and we're being asked to really embody it energetically before we're actually seeing the physical results from it. It's like we're being asked to believe in this new vision of our life that is starting to come into form. But that's scary because it's something that has never been done before. Maybe some of you are literally doing things that have never been done before or never been created before. But I'm getting that what we're doing, this energy that we're in, has never been done before. It's never been created before. It's very new. And it has many different trademarks and I guess like key features that we could talk about here, so that if you're going through this, you can feel stabilized and you can feel supported, because I'm getting that support is more essential than ever at this time. You might really find yourself seeking out almost like an explanation or tools or resources to help you navigate this energy, because it does feel so new or feel so different. That's another theme I'm picking up on collectively. Like a lot of us are seeking out some kind of confirmation of what we're feeling or what we're experiencing, because it does feel so unfamiliar and at times ungrounding. I'm also hearing you can feel it when you're in the old energy versus the new energy. So when you're in the old energy, it feels like burnout. It feels like heaviness. It feels like a weight on your shoulders. It feels like urgency, like being very frazzled, fragmented, kind of like running around trying to output some kind of action, but also feeling like you're spinning your wheels at the same time. That is how that old energy feels. And the new energy feels like deep inner peace. It feels like deeply connecting with a core part of ourselves. It feels like radical trust and surrender. It feels like this broader vision beginning to open up for us, almost like the way the sun slowly starts to rise, where we begin to see more and more of that vision. Just like with a sunrise, slowly we see more and more light touching the earth. It's like in this new energy, we're seeing more and more of that vision expand itself and lighten our world, brighten our world in a different kind of way. It feels like safety. It feels like warmth. It does feel a little bit nerve-wracking at times because it's so new, and it might trigger some of those old fight or flight responses, some deep-seated fears around our worthiness or around our ability to pursue these dreams or visions or to be that version of ourselves. Yes, those old fears might scream from time to time in that new energy, but there's this overarching sense that we're moving towards a greater vision for ourselves. There's also this feeling of being very connected to our intuitive rhythm, meaning in the new energy, we are trusting that the rhythm that feels right to our intuition, for our body, for our nervous system, is also the rhythm within which we can be the most quote unquote productive. But that productivity is going to look different than it did in the old energy. It's more of a building momentum over the course of time, and not so much fast hits or bursts of energy or creation that leave us feeling like urgency and then burnout. It's not going to be the highs and the crashes. It's going to be something steadier, but that steadiness is going to require a deeper level of trust and surrender, because it's not going to look as fast moving initially. It's going to be a slow build beneath the surface, but it's going to be built to last. The thing about this new energy is when you're in it, there's not this feeling of highs and lows, this franticness, this urgency. There's a sense that, whoa, I'm really connecting with a deeper part of myself, and I feel like I could do this forever. By the way, that's how you know that you are in a rhythm or flow that is right for you. It reminds me of sometimes runners will say, find your running all day pace, the pace that you can maintain, like maybe not literally all day, but for a while, for several minutes, or if you're a marathon runner, maybe like an hour or hours. But find that pace that you can go at indefinitely, because it is honoring your nervous system, because it is intuitively in line with you at all levels and layers. And when you find your running all day pace, so to speak, that pace that feels right and aligned for you, that feels relaxed for you, that feels natural to your rhythms, that is how you know that you are in line with your own intuition. And so the days of us forcing ourselves outside of that intuitive rhythm to quote unquote be more productive or to get some kind of result are over. We can no longer do that in the same way without severely burning ourselves out and then almost getting this backlash that causes us to go the opposite direction of where we want to go. Those are very 3D based systems that we've evolved out of and beyond. And so the sense that I'm getting is that your body, your nervous system, your mind, they're going to give you feedback signals and let you know when something is in alignment for you, when a rhythm is working for you, when it's something that you can stabilize and maintain forever. And that is a sign that you are connecting with your own personal intuitive rhythm for your life or whatever area of life this is applying to, whether it's a relationship, whether it is a business, a career. I'm also hearing something about no longer allowing people or society or even your own thoughts to pressure you to act outside of that intuitive rhythm in order to push some kind of result, but to always come back to that rhythm within yourself. And the best way I can describe this is it's almost like with so many of these quantum messages, as you guys know, it can sometimes be a little bit difficult to find the physical human words to describe these energy dynamics. But the best way I can describe it is it's almost as though we have this way of doing things that may still require dedication and focus and a commitment, but it also allows us to create within a structure that feels peaceful for us, that feels focused and aligned, and yes, maybe structured, but it doesn't burn us out within the structure. This is us essentially kind of combining our healed masculine and feminine energy, because the masculine side of us is structured, and that structure can be very self-supportive for our goals, for our creative energy to be channeled towards those goals. And the creative energy is that feminine side of ourselves. But if either side of us begins to overstep, if we are having too much flow without structure or too much structure that's restricting the flow, then we suffer from that imbalance. When we have an overly structured, rigid kind of hold on ourselves, when we have that overly masculinized energy within ourselves, it can cause us to feel uninspired, to feel stifled or restricted. We lose our spontaneity. It's very restrictive on that sacral chakra energy, on our ability to even be present in the now. But on the other side of that equation, if we don't have enough healed masculine energy, enough structure, we can begin to feel a different kind of anxiety from being too ungrounded. So we can actually lose touch with our own magic in a way, or our own joy or happiness, because we feel so unstructured that it almost feels like there's nothing really supporting us in our creativity. And we can feel like we're kind of left out in the open in a way. And so I feel that for many of us, we had to heal our feminine by allowing it to really run free. And that's been such a beautiful thing and so healing for us. But now many of us are feeling this call to reinstate some structure or form back into our lives to actually support that feminine energy. And the thing about this is a healthy amount of our own healed inner masculine, a healthy amount of structure can actually deepen our inner feminine. It can actually amplify that flow and that creativity because it feels safer within that structure that we create for it. But again, it's definitely a balancing act, and our intuition is leading us into the perfect balance here. It's letting us know when we're becoming too rigid or overly structured, and it's also letting us know when we don't have enough structure or focus. Because the sense I get for many of us is we are being called to, in a way, have more of a focused vision, or to really focus our creativity in a different kind of way that is, again, like more supportive to us on a deeper level. And that's the best way that I can kind of describe that. But what I'm getting and what I've spoken on before, but I really want to say here because it's so worth emphasizing, is that whenever you are connecting with your own intuitive rhythm, that rhythm that of course includes both the structure and the flow, just like in music, you practice a lot of times an instrument to a metronome because the metronome kind of represents the masculine structure. It's steady, it's firm, it's very predictable. But then you have the music playing along with the metronome. And so that is like the structure and the flow. And just having the music, but having it completely lose its sense of timing and structure wouldn't make it as beautiful or powerful. But just having the metronome playing, of course, would be devoid of any kind of beauty or creativity. So we're learning to combine these two aspects of ourselves in order to create more powerfully. But know that whenever you are in balance in that way, you are actually connecting with your highest timeline, the highest timeline for you personally. And the mistake that many people make is they think, oh, I could connect with an even higher timeline if I had even more rigid structure. But in many cases, imposing more rigid structure would throw out your masculine energy and cause it to overpower your feminine, and you would actually not be connecting with as high of a timeline. It's definitely a balance. And so I'd love to dive deeper into this in future reading videos, this combination of your internal masculine and internal feminine. So I'm going to go ahead and shuffle some of the cards here and see what else wants to come out about this. I have also created a subliminal meditation that is for balancing your internal divine feminine and internal divine masculine. So it contains many affirmations that you can see within the app while you're listening to this subliminal that connect with amplifying both sides of your energy, the masculine and the feminine, but also balancing and harmonizing them. So this is a pretty recent one that I've created and added to the Sound and Soulful app. And if you would like to check it out for yourself, then you can download the app by clicking the link that I will leave in the description box under this video. And if you are coming from this specific video, you can also use the referral code FUTURE in all capital letters for 10% off in the app at sign up. So I just wanted to share that with you as well. I know that many of you who use the app already are benefiting from this specific subliminal, so I wanted to spread some awareness about it if you are already a user on the app, so that maybe you will consider exploring it, incorporating it into your daily energy routines, adding it to your personal playlists, however you go about using these audio tools that I am creating to support and assist you in your own inner transformation and on your spiritual journey. So, can I channel anything else about either the masculine or the feminine here? Well, right as I said masculine, I got the throat chakra in the upright position. So I'm hearing incoming communication. I feel that there is some kind of external masculine energy that wants to communicate with you. This doesn't have to be romantic. This could be an opportunity. I'm getting for some of you, this may be related to your work or career, like an opportunity that wants to come in, that wants to like communicate with you. But I'm hearing it can only meet you in a certain kind of energy. It's like you have to stabilize some kind of energy within yourself, and then this communication seems to come in, which is a very interesting message. So I want to get deeper on what exactly this is. Again, for some of you, maybe this is a romantic masculine externally that wants to communicate with you, but it's almost like they're being spiritually blocked from doing that until you stabilize some kind of energy within yourself. That might be you coming into this state of balance and harmony internally. But again, for others of you, this does feel like an opportunity that like you've been sensing, you've been like right on the brink of, that wants to reach you, but can only reach you when you've stabilized something within yourself. It's almost like if you are still reaching for it externally or trying to get it to communicate with you, it's almost like it pushes it further away. So this may be someone or something that you've really been wanting to hear from. Like if it's an opportunity, it's something you've been wanting for a long time. If it's a person, it's like someone you've been desiring to hear from. But it's almost like you have to find that true stability within yourself first, where you no longer need anything from this person or from this opportunity. And ironically, that is exactly the moment that you will magnetize it into your life. Something here feels so directly correlated to your own inner journey with door to personal healing and happiness. And so, ironically, I'm hearing if you desire communication or to attract in this opportunity or whatever it is for you that holds this masculine energy charge, it actually seems like the way to go about doing that is to focus more on yourself internally, to focus more of your energy and focus within yourself on your own healing, your own happiness, your own inner journey, and specifically your own inner peace, that state of stability within yourself. And then that is when this magnetically gets drawn into your life. I'm hearing something about how a new focus can bring stability and inner peace. So I don't know if this relates specifically for someone, but what I'm getting for someone listening is like, there's some new focus being called forth from within you. And this might be that broader vision that we were talking about. And it feels as though the best way I can describe this, it's such a very multi-layered and complex energy, but it's almost like there's this feeling of urgency when you focus on what's happening in the now, because right now feels like stillness. It feels like a void. It feels like being between worlds. It feels very uncertain. But the focus that seems to bring stability is, it's almost like when you're focused on the now and what's happening in this energy you're in, you feel the void. And that can create this anxiety like, am I going to be in this void forever? How do I get out of this? And it almost causes the mind or the emotions to race here. And this definitely feels like something we are going through as a collective. But then it's almost like that triggers you to want to focus on the past and what worked in the past. And that's where we get into what we talked about at the beginning, like creating from the past, that energy of burnout and forced output and rigidity and maybe overly masculinized energy that was inhibiting your inner feminine. But then that burns you out. And then it's like you come back to the present, but you're still kind of in that void space. But what I'm hearing is the shift in focus that is being called forth from you here is to shift your focus not to the past and what worked in the past and trying to reinstate that past energy onto your present reality. But it's also not just focusing on the void and overthinking the void. It's actually allowing yourself to set your sights on the vision. It's almost like you're on this really long road trip. And right now, you're between cities and you're moving in the right direction. But when you look around you, all you see is just nothingness. You're in the middle of the country and there's not even an exit sign. There's really no signpost at all, because for many of us, it feels like there are literally no signs of where to go. But we kind of know that we're driving in the right direction. But just like when you're driving, it's important to keep your eyes focused ahead. I feel like that's what you're being called to do right now. It's like you might be driving on the middle of this vacant road, this wasteland, but you know where you're going, and knowing where you're going and trusting that you're moving in the right direction, even if you can't see anything yet, is going to give you a sense of inner peace and stability in the middle of this void. And so it's allowing this bigger vision to come through you, which is going to be unique for you, but you've been sensing this for a while. You know what this vision is for you because, again, it's how it feels that indicates that this is the vision I'm talking about. The vision I'm talking about, it feels warm and it feels like it stabilizes your nervous system. It does feel exciting and a little bit unknown, but it's not like spikes and hits of dopamine exciting. It's the kind of exciting that like builds beneath the surface because you know that you're creating momentum in the right direction, but it doesn't feel like those spikes and crashes. It feels much deeper and much more sustainable. And again, it's something that connects with your sense of inner peace and keeps you connected to your own intuitive rhythm. And I know I'm reiterating some of that, but it just feels like such an important theme coming through this reading video. So yeah, I'm hearing to set your sights on that vision, whatever that is for you, and to allow that to become your present moment embodiment, to allow you to continue lifting yourself from this void space. But of course, there's nothing wrong with being in the void. This is a sacred time in a sense. This is a transitional period that's very necessary. But I feel like the problem is the mind right now keeps wanting to jump into this void, to this part of the road trip where we're still driving down the road, not at the destination. And it wants to start freaking out or wondering if it should turn around or start questioning, like, where am I? I haven't seen a sign in a while. And I feel like those thoughts are the detox that's happening. It's you detoxing from those like spikes and crashes and letting yourself just relax into the ride, so to speak, into the journey that you're on, knowing that you're moving in the right direction, knowing that this broader vision is opening up before you. So I'm hearing something about how you're going to see a sign of peace. Interesting. So I do feel that like as you stabilize this sense of inner peace and trust that you're moving in the right direction and let yourself embody the energy of that vision that you're moving towards in the now, you're going to see some kind of sign. This might even be kind of like the news or the communication that you were waiting for. Maybe it was communication from the universe that you're on the right track. But just like with the communication I mentioned earlier, the more physical forms of communication, it can only come once you've actually found that stability within yourself. But I do see like some kind of sign coming as you really center yourself on that vision, find that stability within. Can I get any other cards here? Yeah, I feel with the Two of Swords reversed and the Ten of Cups reversed, it's almost like everything is being revealed now. So anything within you that may have still been connected with that old world that you've already evolved out of, anything that was holding you back from completely embodying that new energy that's actually moving you into that future vision, which by the way, is so much more aligned with you. It's so much more sustainable for you, but also it allows you to tap into a kind of, we haven't really talked about the exciting aspects of this vision as much. It's not just that it allows you to feel stabilized and to feel like you're connected with your intuition. There's an exponential growth curve accessible to you in this new vision that was never accessible to you in the past. And I've talked about this recently as well. But it's about this shift from 3D consciousness to 5D, because in the 3D, everything had to be linear. It had to be one step at a time, and it was all very practical and predictable. But in 5D, we have the ability to tap into exponential growth curves, to literally see a kind of growth and momentum like we never could have even imagined in the past. So there is that excitement and exhilaration element to it. But it's like a build. It's something you have to trust over time. It's something you have to surrender into. It's a flow. It's not like spikes and drops. It's something that compounds itself, but then grows exponentially over the course of time. So I hope that's making sense. Again, there is so much to unpack in this energy. But what I am getting is that right now, you're in the Two of Swords reversed. This is not a comfy energy. This is truth being revealed. Things within you coming to light, maybe even things in your life that are clearer than ever before, like you're realizing maybe ways in which you were holding yourself back, or ways in which other people or energies or environments were affecting you that you were shoving beneath the surface for a long time. It's like so much is surfacing within you consciously, but also subconsciously, and a lot of that is being processed. So at times it can almost feel like this energetic and emotional overwhelm that you may not even really know where it's coming from or what the source of it is, but it's coming from this deep place within you where Again, so much is being cleared out and exposed and detoxed, but it's not just for no reason. It's preparing you for that future version of you, which again, that vision is becoming clearer and clearer every day for you, just like the sunrise slowly gets brighter and brighter. And I'm hearing it will happen gradually. It won't happen all at once. The ego wants it to happen instantaneously, but even if you're honest with yourself, I know that you can notice that there has been a gradual, maybe very, very gradual, but there's been a shift into slowly letting more light in, feeling like things are lightening up even just slightly. This energy has been really dark and really heavy, especially the past few weeks. But I know that you are probably noticing things very, very slowly beginning to lighten for you, or this new vision beginning to very slowly illuminate itself, maybe just in flickers at times, but still it's happening. And so the sense with the 10 of Cups that I get is that what is being exposed or revealed now within you and within your life is actually leading to this 10 of Cups energy, which is such a beautiful energy. It's one of culmination. It's definitely the energy of a much higher timeline where there's this deeper sense of long-term happiness, security, longevity. There's a feeling that what you're building now, even though it's more uncertain in the short term, is creating longevity in your career or your industry or your love life or your body or whatever this is for you. Of course, that doesn't make it any easier to trust it in the moment, where in the moment it might actually feel like a decline or a backsliding because you are in that void, because we're on the part of the road trip where we aren't yet at that like destination point, but we know that we're heading in the right direction, and you can keep trusting that. Don't try to turn back. I mean, your soul wouldn't even let you for very long. And you've probably experienced that if you've ever tried to turn back in this energy. It's like a current in a river that just pushes you forward again. So really the only option is to keep moving forward and to keep expanding. And your soul is making sure of that. It's keeping you on that path of expansion. But it's a lot easier of a ride if you let yourself trust and go with that flow. And so I know this has been a very unique reading. I've just kind of been letting whatever messages want to come through that have wanted to come through the reading, but I am going to be continuing this in our extended version on either Patreon or YouTube memberships, depending on your personal preference. So the link to get the extended version of this reading is in the pinned comment and description box below if you'd like to continue on with me. When you do sign up for either Patreon or the memberships, you get access to 3 exclusive bonus readings just for members, channeled every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, along with these main collective readings. So I would love to see you there if you feel guided to it. Otherwise, if you are stopping here, then thank you so much for tuning in today. I am sending you huge love as always. If this did connect for you, I would love for you to consider subscribing to the channel, join our beautiful community here on YouTube. You can also follow me on TikTok and Instagram at Magnetize Yourself. And you can listen to my channeled music on my Spotify, which is Songs by Infinity. That is my artist name. And I have a new song that's going to be dropping within the next couple weeks or less. So if you want to be the first to listen, be sure to follow my Spotify. And of course, if you would like to use the subliminal I mentioned earlier for balancing your internal divine feminine and divine masculine, then the link to get the Sound and Soulful app and access this subliminal as well as all of my subliminals library is also below. So I'm going to go ahead and leave things there. Thank you so much again. I am sending you all so much love and light energy. Have a beautiful remainder of your week and weekend, and I will connect with you here again in Monday's collective reading.